nuclear war would forever divide human history into two parts: the time before and the post-war apocalypse. In the worst-case scenario, mass fires could incinerate tens of thousands of square kilometers, killing hundreds of millions within hours. But the greatest danger comes after. The aftermath of a nuclear war could trigger a nuclear winter, potentially killing billions and leading to the collapse of civilization. So, how exactly does this happen, and what would it look like? Fire causes winter. When a nuclear weapon detonates, it creates a bubble of gas hotter than the sun. Within kilometers, everything is instantly engulfed in flames. As this bubble rapidly expands, it generates a massive shockwave, causing widespread destruction. In the worst cases, these explosions spark firestorms that devour everything in their path. Above the devastation, a mushroom cloud rises, symbolizing the destruction. But the real danger comes in the hours that follow. The fires igniting cities, forests, and fields create so much heat that they form a microclimate with their own wind systems. These winds pull in fresh oxygen, intensifying the flames. As hot smoke rises, a colossal pyro cumulonimbus cloud is formed, lifting soot and aerosols high into the stratosphere where no weather systems exist to wash them away. There, the soot lingers for years, blanketing the earth. If a single city burns, it's a localized tragedy. But in a full-scale nuclear war, hundreds of firestorms could release millions of tons of soot into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight from reaching the surface. This doesn't mean the sky turns black like in science fiction, it's more insidious. Just a small reduction in sunlight causes devastating climate effects. Winter causes hunger. The severity of a nuclear winter depends on how much material burns and how many firestorms erupt. While nuclear winter isn't permanent, its effects could last a decade. As temperatures drop and seasons are thrown out of sync, winters grow longer, summers colder, and droughts more severe. This would devastate agriculture, as most of humanity's food is grown in the mid-latitudes, regions where crops thrive under stable climate conditions. In the worst-case scenario, the breadbaskets of the world, like the US, Great Plains, and Ukraine, would become barren, unable to grow anything. Food production would crash, and global trade would come to a halt. Nations might hoard their food supplies, and starvation would spread. Modern agriculture relies on complex supply chains for fertilizers, pesticides, and machinery. A nuclear war would destroy vital infrastructure, further crippling global food production. Actual nuclear wars. There are two major conflicts scientists consider when modeling nuclear winter. One between India and Pakistan, and one between the US and Russia. Even a smaller conflict between India and Pakistan could kill 27 million people in hours. The fires that follow would create a mild nuclear autumn, disrupting the global climate enough to cause famine for up to 250 million people. But with larger-scale wars, like one between the US and Russia, thousands of nuclear weapons could be used, killing 360 million people instantly and plunging the world into a devastating nuclear winter. This scenario could reduce global food production by 90%, leading to starvation for 5 billion people. Countries in the mid-latitudes like the US, Russia, and much of Europe would see only a small fraction of their populations survive. While no place would be entirely safe, some southern hemisphere nations like Australia and New Zealand might endure better due to milder nuclear winters and their livestock-based food systems. However, even these nations could face invasions from starving countries. Conclusion: a full-scale nuclear war would leave the world forever changed. Civilization might collapse, and the survivors would inherit a planet marked by scars and graves. Would humanity ever rebuild and risk creating nuclear weapons again? Final note: we know for sure that we must do everything in our power to prevent nuclear war. Thank you for watching and learning with us today. If you want to stay informed on important issues like this, please consider subscribing to the channel for more educational content. Thank you for your support.